Welcome back to the Fragrance Return, everybody. Thanks for spending some of your day with me. We have done it. We have crossed 500 members. You guys are freaking awesome. I really appreciate each and every single one of you. Man, I was really nervous in these first couple filmings, getting on camera. You know, it can be a little bit nervous about it. But lately, just having so much fun filming, talking with you guys, interacting here in your center today, giving you some recommendations. It's been a lot of fun, man. Thank you to each and every single one of you who have supported, interacted with this channel, with this fraternity. I'm excited to see how far we could take it and what we can make of it. It's been a lot of fun so far. Can't wait to keep it going. Today, I got to talk to you about something important. It's getting hot out there. It's warming up. People are starting to sweat. So we can shotgun our beers in just a minute and play more Flip Cup in about 5 minutes after I tell you about something really important: fragrances. You heard me right, fragrances. Fragrances that work in the high heat specifically. I got 10 of them for you, because I can't have you guys out there smelling like BO and a bunch of frat bros, all right? I need you guys having your scent on point, and you're gonna be on point with these 10. Let's get it started with Yves Saint Laurent Loam Cologne Bleue. Now, this one may be a bit boring for some people, but it does work in the high heat really well, and if you're a blue fragrance fanatic like I am, you're gonna enjoy this one. When I first smelled this one, I was immediately captivated. It really speaks to what I like in a fragrance, that blue fragrance freshness. It's got a nice citrus base. It reels in the ginger that the Loam DNA line is known for, and it kind of substitutes it more for blood orange and I believe mandarin and C notes. So it's a little bit more aquatic. It really is a blue fragrance, but it's not overly heavy or anything like that. It's very airy, it's very light, it's very easygoing, very fresh. So if you want something that's just very easygoing and non-offensive, something that you know is going to work in the high heat, Loam Cologne Bleue. It may be a little bit boring to a lot of you, but sometimes you just smell a fragrance and you really enjoy it and you want to buy it. It's as simple as that, and that's what this one was for me. So check that one out. It's not one that you got to go rush out and get. I don't even think it's one of the best in the line, but that's more of like a personal pick for me. And I just got that bottle. I'm really excited to wear it this summer. The next one is Juliet Has A Gun Vanilla Vibes. This one is also a bit newer to my collection. I reviewed it not too long ago, but I don't need to spend any more time with it to tell you that this is an amazing fragrance, guys. It really is an amazing, amazing fragrance. And it has a sunscreen type of a smell mixed with more of like a cake vanilla, not necessarily an overly pronounced vanilla like you would get in many other fragrances, but this one is a more like a vanilla bean frappuccino, like a coconut vanilla. There's no coconut in here, but if the vanilla could lean in a coconut tropical sunscreen way, that's the best way I can describe this one. This is a beast. I did one spray on my forearm and it was just pumping for like 5-6 hours nonstop. So you can really overwhelm yourself. This one works really well, at least off my skin, what I can say. So really high quality fragrance here as well. I got this at Ross for $50. And for this price, I'm blown away. I believe this is a niche brand, and this is my first one. It's my first intro to Juliet Has A Gun, and I'm very, very impressed. Vanilla vibes. Not typically a fan of vanilla fragrances myself, but the way it comes across here is more of a coconut sunscreen tropical type of a vanilla. I'm all about it, all about it. Can't wait to wear this one when I go to the beach this summer, and I know it's gonna last for a long time because the performance on that is top notch, guys. All right, the next one, we're dropping down in price point now, you know, so we gotta have a nice range of stuff for people. This one is very fruity and very fresh. Talking about True Religion Drifter. This one doesn't get really talked about that much anymore. Now, when this one came out in 2011, I believe it retailed for about $65. I would not pay $65 for this fragrance. I would not pay $40 for this fragrance. But for $18.99, which is what I paid for it, I would for sure pay that for this fragrance. This has a beautiful, it's like a basket of fruits. Like you arranged a bunch of different fruits and you took a big whiff of that. That's what you get with this one. It has a very distinct freshness too. So it's not overly dense or anything like that. It's more of like airy, aromatic, but very fruity at the same time. So if you don't have a fragrance that is very fruit dominant, not so much like a grapefruit, I believe it's an apricot and maybe blackberry. It's more of like a berry fruitness here than a grapefruit, something not as zingy as a grapefruit, just a very fruity, fresh type of a smell here. So if you don't have anything in that fruit vibe, that fruit DNA, which I was kind of lacking that. This filled that space in my collection for something very fruity, and I've been enjoying it. I've been really enjoying it, been testing it out. I got about 4 hours of longevity on it, and it's a very appealing scent profile, and I think it's going to work really well in the heat. So True Religion Drifter, if you happen to come across it at your rack store, I think for $20 it's a great pickup, especially if you don't have anything in that fruity DNA already. The next one is going to be from the house of Banana Republic, another one from their Icon line. Big surprise, right? I love this line. You guys know it if you've been watching. This is Pure 90 White. Pure 90 White. So this is a very musky type of a fragrance, and it has some similarities to stuff out there, but for $25, I think it's really high quality. I think all of these are really high quality for the price that you pay. And it smells like a white cotton type of a smell. Not as much citrus forward, not as floral as maybe some of the other musk fragrances. Just plain Jane musk, easygoing, easy to pull off, not super attention grabbing, just even keel kind of a fragrance. So if you want something a little bit more on the plain side, something that's going to be inoffensive but has a real nice musk base to it and a still great smelling fragrance, check out Pure 90 White. There are others in the line that I would take over it, but for the summer and the really high heat days, this is a good option. At the end of the day, this is a really good option. And if this happens to be the one that you come across for $25, I think it's a great buy. So it is what it is. Next one. This is actually a really important fragrance for me because it kind of re-energized my passion for fragrances, and it came at a time, I don't know why I'm holding it up there. It came at a time when I kind of stopped wearing fragrances, and I was in the club, and you know, sometimes in the bathroom they got just those random selection of fragrances. You tip the guy and you can wear whatever you want. This is the one that I saw in there, Bulgari Pour Homme. I don't know what happened to this cap. I've had this bottle for a long time. The cap is MIA, so if anybody finds it, let me know. This one is a tea-based fragrance, and after I smelled this one in the club, I was like, why the hell did I stop wearing fragrance? Like, they're so good. Why did I stop doing it? I don't even know. It's like, it was out of my mind. I didn't even think about fragrance at that point in my life. This was maybe like 8 years ago or so. And then I wore this and I was like, I need to get back into this because fragrances are bomb. I forgot all about fragrances. Why did I ever stop? I don't know. I need to get back into it. So I bought a bottle of Bulgari Pour Homme after trying it in the club that one night and was wearing it a lot. And so this is a very like tea, relaxing, herbal type of a fragrance. I think it gets overshadowed these days because of how much more powerful fragrances have become, not necessarily in performance, but just in the fact that, you know, you have all these synthetic type of Ambroxan powerhouse bomb type fragrances, and they overshadow some of these maybe more reserved, not as crazy pronounced tea-based fragrances. So to a newcomer into this game, they're gonna go for the Dior Sauvage. You know, they're gonna go for the YSL Y80P. It's gonna capture their attention way more than a tea-based fragrance like this. But in the high heat summer days, especially for people like you and me that enjoy fragrances, this is gonna be really captivating and really nice, relaxing, but smooth, enjoyable. I know this one gets hype here and there and it deserves it. Unfortunately, I think this bottle has gone bad because I've had it for a long time and I sprayed it and it doesn't quite smell very good anymore. So I think I've ruined this bottle, but if you find a bottle that hasn't expired yet, Bulgari Pour Homme is a great choice. Let me give you one more tea-based fragrance. So some people are going to think that this is not a good entry because it's not a great fragrance. And I understand what you're going to think about that. And for people getting into this, if you have, let's say 10 fragrances or 5, you know, like a normal person would, not somebody who is addicted to this kind of thing, you probably could just skip this one. This is not going to be one that I suggest that you get even your first 10 or 20. This would not make my top 20 list, but it would make my list of top 5 to wear before bed or top 3 to wear a fragrance when you don't want to wear a fragrance. This would make that list. This might be even number 1. This is L12 Magnetic. This is also a tea-based fragrance, but it has more of a pronounced violet leaf, but not a violet leaf like you would find in Dior Fahrenheit, not at all. It doesn't have any petrol type of smell or anything like that. It's very easygoing, very pleasant, a little bit floral, violet leaf with tea, and just very easy to pull off. If you want a fragrance, this is the fragrance that I wear when I don't want to wear a fragrance or when I wear it before bed. So it fills that role. I don't think it's one of the best fragrances I have, and I don't even necessarily think it's a good fragrance, just judging it as far as if I'm gonna buy something and I only have a certain amount and I wanna get the most value for my money, do I need to buy this? I would say no, you could skip it. But if you are looking for something specifically to wear that is very inoffensive, something to wear when you don't really wanna wear a fragrance because it's gonna be really hot and you're debating whether even not to wear a fragrance, this works really well in that kind of a situation. Or maybe you're starting a new job and you're a little bit, you want to be on the down low, you know, you don't want to offend anybody. You want to make sure that you're taking that extra care not to stand out or be the cologne guy in the office or something on your first couple of weeks. This is going to be a great choice too. Get average performance, but the scent is overall very appealing. I like it. It's nothing that's going to wow you, but for those more chiller moments, the more chill, relaxed times that you just want something easygoing and mellow, L12 Magnetic is a great choice. And no, the cap is not magnetic. I thought it might be when I bought it, but no, it's not. So just know that. Next one up we have is Starwalker Extreme from Montblanc. Starwalker Extreme. So this is a very aquatic and very powdery. It's a fresh fragrance with a little bit more depth, a little bit more of a powdery richness to it. And I get some similarities to Prada Loam Intense, but do not buy this expecting the same quality of Prada Loam Intense or like a clone of Prada Loam Intense, because that's not what this is. This is just an aquatic, powdery fragrance that reminds me of Prada Loam Intense. And it smells very different than the original Starwalker, if you're familiar with that. So don't buy this thinking that it's going to be a more extreme version of the original. It smells very different than the original. The original is more of like a Versace Mano Fresh with a bamboo note, and this is more of a really powdery, aquatic fragrance. But it's a really beautiful one, and it works in the high heat. It's one that I find myself going back to time and time again. Works in pretty much every situation. Very appealing scent here, and if you want something that has the uniqueness in the fact that it is a little bit more powdery while still maintaining freshness, Starwalker Extreme is a great choice. The next one up is Hollister Canyon Escape. This is a clone of Creed Aventus, and I believe Creed Aventus, that scent profile, works pretty well in the heat, but I think Montblanc Explorer works even better because it's not as smoky and it's a little bit more fruity, and that's what you get here. This is closer to Montblanc Explorer, and the dialing back the smokiness, increasing the ambroxan, increasing the fruitiness works better in the summer, in my opinion. So this is a $20 fragrance for 100 ml, and it smells very similar to Explorer, so you don't really need to buy Explorer if you are gonna get this. And I really enjoy the overall ambroxan nature that this one has. So if you're familiar with Aventus, if you're familiar with Explorer, and you want to get that on the cheap, Hollister Canyon Escape is going to be a good option for you. Decent projection and performance. I think the quality that you get is better than the $20 that you're going to pay at a discounter. I think it's definitely worth picking up for that price, especially if you don't have an Aventus clone, or if you don't have Explorer or something in that DNA and you want to dabble into the Aventus DNA, which is known to be a big compliment puller for the people that care about that kind of thing. Anyway, two more. Here we go. Also from Hollister. This is Festival Nite. So the cool thing about this one is it has a very pronounced ginger note, and not too many fragrances repping ginger these days, aside from the one that always comes to mind is the original Loam, or something like Azzaro Ginger Lover. Those are two that are gonna have the most similarities to this in my mind. But this one is a little bit more youthful. It's a little bit younger leaning, but the performance and the power of this one is very, very impressive. I think it's so powerful that I would say only wear this one in the summer nights. I think it may be even too powerful to wear during the day. So, or maybe just dial back the sprays, or don't wear it when it's like the hottest of days, because you'll find out it could be a little bit cloying and it may be a little bit overwhelming, and it may just be a little bit too much for the really, really high heat. So wear it at night, but it's a great fragrance. It's a really great, beautiful ginger fragrance that comes across beautifully, more youthful, but excellent. And this is a twist off, so don't break your bottle trying to take that off, like thinking it's a cap. When I first bought this, I was taking this off and I was like, oh, what the heck? So it's a twist off, so just know that. All right, last one on this list is gonna be CK Eternity for Men. This is Air, this is the Air Flanker. This is an interesting fragrance, and again, not one that I think you need to rush out and buy. And if you're just looking if you don't have a fresh fragrance and you're looking to get a fresh fragrance to add and you're kind of newer, you don't really need to get this. You could probably skip this, but if you're someone who has amassed a decent collection and you're doing this responsibly, please do this responsibly, guys. Do not regret spending money on these. It sucks and it always ruins the enjoyment from the fragrance. But if you get this and you want something with a bit of a uniqueness to that fresh profile, to that marine type scent, this is good because it involves a seaweed note, which you don't really see too often. And it does have a twist. It has a marine type of a smell to it. It makes me feel like I'm standing on a boat, like on a fishing dock, and the water, it's a little bit murky and it's hitting me in the nose, and I'm getting some of that water murk as well as the combine of the air coming in, and it's like a fresh air that just came in after it rained or something, and it's combining with the murkiness of the water, and that's what you're getting here with Eternity Air. Are there going to be some people that are turned away from this? Yes, but I think it's a good fragrance. It just has that seaweed, which makes it a little bit different, a little bit distinct. But if you're looking for a unique marine aquatic, Eternity Air could be a good option for you. They're not that expensive, and I think these bottles look quite nice, built on atomizer. And the atomizers are really good on this one. So if you want something to change it up a little bit and you have a lot of marine fragrances that are starting to get a little bit redundant, Eternity Air might be one that you look into. That's it for today. Let me know, what is your favorite fragrance to wear when it's really hot and you just need something to cool you off? I'd love to hear about it. I'd love to chat about it. Thanks for your support so far. We're going to keep this fraternity growing. All right, let's get back to playing some beer pong. Let's go.